Hello, thank you, Dr. Sarah, for that introduction, and thank you, Dr. Lumis and Al-Hekma University for this opportunity. Uh, just a second. Today, I'll be talking about ABA services at the Center for Autism Research at King Faisal Specialist Hospital and Research Center. To start off, I just want to give a brief introduction to what the center does beyond the scope of ABA. So the center was initiated or was opened in 2011. Our three main pillars at the center is diagnosis, research, and training. And the ABA department is one of the biggest training programs at the center. So our first training program was with the University of Nevada, Reno. The University of Nevada, Reno is one of the top ABA programs in the world. All of its programs, including its online programs, are all accredited by Applied Behavior Analysis International. The center chose to work with UNR because they wanted a top program to train in the country, high level quality of training. And again, the UNR has a lot of experience with satellite programs within and outside of the US. The first and second cohort were certificate programs for BCBA and BCABA candidates. Our first cohort was back in 2015. They graduated in 2016 with 12 graduates. Our second cohort, they finished in 2018. We had 9 graduates. CFAR also sponsored two full scholarships to UNR for a master's in psychology. So we had 2 students go to UNR and they pursued their master's there and they've graduated. Currently, our third cohort is a hybrid master's program with an option of BCABA or BCBA certification program for specific students. So the hybrid master's program pre-COVID, we had professors fly to Riyadh to give intensive coursework and then fly back to UNR. But due to COVID, that no longer is an option, so it's fully online right now. CFAR from the beginning, from cohort 1, has been in charge of practicum. For cohorts 1 and 2, we've had practicum supervisors fly in from UNR to do intensive training, and then the rest of the supervision was online with hands-on supervision provided by CFAR. For the third cohort, it's fully the practicum is fully supervised by our staff at CFAR. We have 3 BCBAs and 1 BCABA that are all involved in the supervision of the students. We have 17 students. They're set to graduate in December 2021. I just want to mention that for the first and second cohort, it was very difficult for us to find students interested in the program, even though it was fully sponsored by CFAR. And that's why we only had 12 students in the first cohort and 9 in the second. For the third cohort, we actually had over 50 applicants. We actually accepted 32 applicants into the program, but due to either time commitment or the difficulty of the program and some issues with the English language requirement of the program, we ended up with only 17 students actually continuing in the program. So there is definitely an increase in demand and an increase in the interest in ABA and an increase of the understanding of the importance of the service from when I started with the center till now. And where the center is looking forward to, especially with the changes with the board, is looking forward to come up with new training programs and is working closely with different government entities to figure out how to have the board local in Saudi and how to set the standards for the training as well. The center also created a registered behavior technician 40-hour RBT training curriculum The curriculum was created from scratch in Arabic to meet the needs of our culture and the needs of it's actually it we went off of the requirements, but it actually goes above and beyond what the requirements ask. We have quizzes for each section. We do a lot of modeling and feedback. We do a final exam, and we require 80% passing for each quiz and exam for you to get the certificate. We're looking into developing it more and actually adding an internship component to the RBT training to finish up the competency part of the training. We've trained over 300 individuals so far since we started the RBT training. We are looking at ways to expand it as well beyond the 40-hour training. We also have a collaboration with the University of California for the ESDM Early Start Denver Model Program. The ESDM is a database approach. It's based on ABA principles. It focuses on boosting children's social, emotional, and cognitive and language developmental abilities. It also uses more of a developmental play-based approach. We have a group of our staff trained in the Early Start Denver model, and they're currently pursuing the trainer level of the certification so they can train others in the country. So we don't have to depend on UC Davis for those trainings. We can train locally. So the current services we offer is one-to-one sessions. We do parent training and we do telehealth sessions since the start of COVID. We've also translated the manual into Arabic, and it's available on our website amongst other books and other resources that are translated into Arabic. We also have the Saudi National Professional Development Program. The program was developed in cooperation with University of North Carolina. It's based on evidence-based practices and how they can be used in schools, specifically with teachers and teacher aides in inclusion classrooms. So it focuses on behavioral skills training type of system to train teachers and teachers aid on evidence-based practices. We've worked with a few schools in the past, and we were planning on working on a few more schools, but due to COVID and everything being online, we kind of put that on hold till schools are back in person. We've also translated all the evidence-based practices that UNC have available free online, and they will be soon available on the CFAR website in Arabic for anyone that wants to look at them or read them. We also, based on the pillars of the center, we've done a lot of research in the ABA department, specifically focusing on parent training and developing different curriculums and training systems for parents within ABA. So we've published a few articles. These are the published articles. We've done discrete trial training, the natural language paradigm, and we've done an assessment of parental acceptability and preference for behavioral interventions. All these are published articles in peer-reviewed journals, and we've presented at ABAI multiple times. The current ongoing research, we're doing a case study on improving social interactions by teaching children question asking. And we're doing a telehealth toilet training program that it's currently ongoing. We're also writing up a bunch of different telehealth programs that we plan on conducting research on in the near future. We're also working on research on the Arabic version of the ESDM to make sure even when it's been translated in Arabic, it's still as effective as the English version. And this goes in alignment with our staff pursuing their trainer certification so they can train others on the manual in Arabic. We also have something that's very unique to CFAR, which is the research using virtual reality technology. So we have a virtual reality clinic. So currently, the current research going on in the virtual reality clinic is we're looking at using virtual reality to train children with autism to do daily living skills, such as currently we're working on shopping skills in the supermarket. We're also working on a program that teaches safety skills, such as crossing the street. And we have the video model is actually of the streets of the hospital, within the hospital. And we're going to look at baseline, and then we're going to train children how to safely cross the street using virtual reality. And then we're going to do post-training probes in the natural environment and see if that translates. And if it does, that saves us that saves us a lot of time, and also it's much safer for the kids to actually learn it in a safe environment versus in the real world where there are more dangers, and it's more acceptable when it comes to parents when you want to teach those skills. We're also doing research on how eye tracking can be used to improve ABA intervention. So currently we're working on a pilot study for eye tracking, and then once that study is completed, we're gonna look at how we can use eye tracking within every day-to-day programming when it comes to ABA sessions. And thank you.